All right, let's do this. Morning, guys. What's up? Yeah. All right. Morning, Choyos. What's going on? Whoa, fuck, my own thing just turned on. Morning. Double thing. All right, what's up? Let's go into this. First of all, we had we have a gap down in the markets. We had some kind of news out. There's a whole host of things going on today. We're testing yesterday's lows at the open. We did have a nice kind of 1 day squeeze yesterday. Not in the indexes. The general indexes are masking some January effect underneath the hood of the market. What I mean by January effect underneath the hood of the market is that we had, even though the indexes were flat and, your kind of large caps were not really doing much, you did have a whole host of kind of short squeezes and cheaper stocks. So these are called January effect plays that are essentially just tax loss selling plays that were trending. So we may want to be, if the market, breaks this kind of range of 262, then, we might have to lean into the shorts, but we've seen the market kind of bouncing off this spot for the last few days. So we have to, we'll have to be kind of trade around this and really take a gauge of, what's happening. I do think, and that's why I was talking to some of the guys, I do think you can't have lazy watch lists right now. And that my guess is in a good chunk of January, these large caps are going to just drift and do shit. But we're going to have some action in some other sectors. So you can have that where you have like your Apples and Microsofts and stuff like that. They may be really tired, but you'll have inherent, you'll have some bids in certain sectors. And you've already seen like a nice move in small cap biotech, specifically small cap biotechs that have cash, that are like kind of cash rich. You saw a whole host of them even yesterday that were going. Hold on, I made a note of a couple of them. Besides Cala, which has been going, right? You have Elox. That was another one I'm fucking around with. There's a whole host of these that are catching bids in the middle of the day, and so you want to be super mindful, that there is some things that you can do that are playing, and so we may stay away from some of these large caps. But there's these secondary kind of plays that are happening where there's like a nice bid in them. So just be, every year things change. So the setups that are working 1 year, the stocks that are working the 1 year, they're not going to necessarily work the next year. Some of it will, it's not like you completely redo your strategy, but there's always like small nuances and small changes in the market that will come to fruition. And we're starting to see a little bit of it even yesterday. Like if you just looked at the QQQs, you would have thought wow, the market didn't do shit yesterday. But yesterday was probably the most bullish day in the markets in quite some time. So if you just came in today with a bunch of shorts on your watch list, that's really lazy thinking, because there were a whole host of stocks that were squeezing, right? From your China names to, all sorts of small cap names and, so on and so forth. So some of these kind of cheaper names that maybe will catch a bid into the, a bid into January. These kind of names like SoFi. We're going to add these to lists and we'll see if they go red to green today. Redfin is another one. And then we've already seen that, right? Like Momo and Casey and IQ and some of these other ones. So I want you to kind of keep a list of some of these just little cheapies, little short squeeze type of plays. Even XPEV caught a bid yesterday, right? So you have $10 to $12. So you have a nice group of these kind of names. I think even something like a NIO can probably get caught up for a little heater if these China stocks start to reverse today. They do need probably 1 day's worth of break, just because they are a little bit extended. But we're getting some nice action in them. I think that we keep red to greening these for the meantime. Now, let's take a look at the gappers here. And I just want to kind of make note of that we may see some stagnation in large caps, you know, and they'll still be able to be scalped around and stuff like that. You know, you'll still be able to scalp them around and stuff like that, but you just can't count them then always being so meaty. When there's also speculative money that's like kind of running around in the market, especially on some of these kind of tax loss type of selling plays. Whoa. Yeah. There it is. All right. I don't know why. Everything went away. All right. So check it. Let's take a look at the market breadth. You know, one of the things that we did notice yesterday, if you're looking and seeing like the action, there was quite a few 4% breakouts. So like the markets itself, we thought they looked flat. The indexes looked flat. You had almost 1,000 4% breakouts. That's a very, very bullish market breadth thrust, right? When you have 1,000 4% breakouts and you have, right, just a minimal amount in comparison of 4% breakdowns, then you have a slight shift in buying pressure in the market. And then you can even see from the T2108 and the T2107 that you are starting to get a slight ramp in these things also. So breadth is improving. So that's why I do think you have to be flexible with your watch list right now. You're going to need some longs and some shorts because, you know, even though the market's gapping down, a gap down in the market doesn't actually mean anything, you know, without the context of, right, breaking under certain levels and stuff like that. So we'll see how we reside in this range today. I'm curious too. If you can kind of look at it in a million different ways, you can almost make it seem like it's like a little bit of a head and shoulders, or you can also make it look like it's a breakdown. You know, the overall big picture daily chart look though is still very bearish inherently, right? You have just kind of you're on the bottom of the range, right? So I wouldn't call this like necessarily a breakdown setup yet, but you are on the closer to the bottom of the range. In the meantime, on a short-term basis, right, this like, let's say 5 to 6 day basis, right? You have like a little bit of a makeshift bear flag. I wouldn't call that a good one, but a little bit of a makeshift bear flag. So this 263, 262 zone will be super important today. We're going to need to see if we have, what kind of follow through we have from there. Let's get a look into the gappers here. And hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. Okay. I'm fucking anything around. I just realized I don't even have any coffee here. Bastards. Forget it. To be honest, I don't think I've ever made my bed before. All right, so you got HKD 3. Whew. Yo, this is, you know, obviously this thing was like $2,000 at one point. It never does any volume. It's got 3 million shares today. This is probably going to be in play. Not my particular flavor, but this is definitely going to be probably something in play for those of you guys that play the Calas and stuff like that. This is a big gelatinous turd. There's no getting around that. But if you want to do some momentum kind of scalping, you can roll with this. It's been such an easy start to the year, and it was a really easy December for the most part. I'm trying to stay away from these things because they do just ruin my damn month when I fuck them up. I see the play in it. NVCR. Look, this thing had a PR out, but it's already fading off most of its gap. It would have been probably hard to sustain, you know, a 300% move on a $7 billion company anyways. I do think that probably there'll be some type of play in this, but, you know, it's faded off most of it. Usually when it does something like this, you know, watch for like a big shove. if it starts shoving into like 130, 140, you may actually be able to like roll it over at some point. But that obviously be a big, big push. But I'd keep that on watch. It's probably going to have some movement on it. OBLJ, this is a reverse split stock too. These things actually have been working a little bit. You can see here, right? This thing is obviously just a huge turd and probably back in the pennies in no time. But for a day, right? For a little love of a day, this will be, this ain't going to be so bad. But not my particular flavor. Z Labs. Novacare, Z Labs, say study primary endpoint. Okay, so these two, this is like related with the other one. This one does not have much liquidity in it yet, but you do actually have a decent sized breakout on it. I'd add that for now. Biotechs have been hot. Biotechs have been hot for like a month. We definitely wanna play with these biotechs a little bit. Let's get into it. Here on. Ooh. It's like rubbing jizz on your face. Not that I would know what that feels like, but I can imagine for you lucky ones that do. This is, oh, man. This has got to be what it feels like. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Serum for the soul. Serum for the soul. All right. Abe, what's going on, baby? Huddy. This is $200. You're coming out of range on this too. So this is right. We have a little bit of a small cap bonanza happening here. This is probably another one you can roll with. Not enough liquidity for me, but if you start to see this, so like something like this, if it fires off, say, 1 million shares in the first 15 minutes, then this thing is probably going to be in play. If it doesn't, then just leave it alone and move on to the next one. Here's a reverse split plays too. These things are all catching a bid. It's going to be a matter of when the game of hot potato starts, right? Which one is left with the liquidity? Because that's all these things are. They're just like it's a little game of hot potato. Abe, what's up, mother love? Let me restart my TC 2000. The hardest fucking balls around here. All right, let me get back into this. Hold on. Yes, there are some annoying wicks on TC 2000. You may have to just shut off the pre-market data for a hot second and then restart it. But you are right. It is super annoying. All right, hold on, guys. I had to reboot this thing. Sometimes my pre-market scanner goes to shit on this thing. And you got to restart it, re-put it up. All right, let's go back into this. Ooh. Natural gas is nasty too. And this is good for inflation anyways, right? You don't want to see people's heating bills go nuts. This is why probably the inflation story's played out. Because, even though the energy stocks look semi-okay, they all look like shorts. But You got natural gas just rolling over here. That's good. I'd probably pound that oxy on L pops. Yeah, we'll talk about SI in a second. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, not too many gappers on the large cap side. You can see these are all like little guys and not really anything that juicy. So, you know, you really want to kind of probably HKD and NVCR. Some of these will be probably the best ones. And then maybe the one to really kind of keep a lookout on the sly is this OBGN. Now let's take a look on the small cap. So SI just came out. There's an article. There was an article. Oh shit, let me share my screen. What the fuck? There's an article by the Wall Street Journal that said, you know, they were like in a rush to pay out their depositors, which is never, you just can't put out any article that says anything about customers' deposits. It's not a good look. This thing is getting smoked, and it's probably going to end up like every other crypto stock around, like, you know, in the single digits. We can't really short this thing into the hole at 41%. But I do think, you know, what we can do is if this gets really nasty, we can take down this coin. Man, it looked so bullish yesterday too. It really did look like you could have maybe one of those kind of January effect plays on this. But I think we take down this coin, you know, so watch SI for the clue. If SI, by the way, pops up a little bit, you know, it squeezes to like say 14, 15, you could definitely look to roll it over. But I would not short it into the hole. And the margin stinks on both of these anyways. I do think we've got a shot at coin because it was just at $31 anyways. It's down 7%, but this is one is notorious. When it gets flooded, it really can get flooded. Let it pop up a little bit and do a quick pullback short, right? So let it pop up in, you know, intraday into the 9 EMA, 20 EMA zone, and then let's let this thing fizzle out. We may get a nice, good old-fashioned bleeder in this thing. I like. That's a 6 windows worthy, guys. That's a 6. So add in SI, man. See this UNG? Nasty. Jerry, that's why I was saying those energy stocks don't look like longs. They're slowly rolling over. Point add, boom, boom, boom. And then this is hot. I didn't see anybody see the news on this bad boy? Don't matter anyways, but that's a juicy one. You have first of all, you've got a breakdown over here on the daily chart, right around this 99 level. Obviously, this thing's been in a big downtrend for a while, but you got this like kind of nice roll over here. Whoa. What do you think? That's probably top of the list, I think, with coin. Add it. Gurn's a turd. Ooh, Boots and Coots. No, this is Walgreens. Hey, if you don't mind something maybe a little bit slower, like this actually probably has got a little bit of heat on it. What I mean by a little bit of heat is it's got it won't move like a crazy amount, but it will have enough heat on it to, you know, trade back and forth because it does have earnings out today, guys. And when you have earnings out, right, in any particular name, then you can speed up the ATR on it. So it looks like adjusted net earnings drop, maintains adjusted blah, blah, blah. That's usually, right, that's got something to it right there. What do you think? You're not as hot as crowd. When in general, guys, always remember this for you new traders. When you have a series of PRs out, series of earnings out, you always go tech, biotech above all. Tech, biotech above all, because they will have the most movement in them. All right. So like if you have like a list of PRs and one is a retail, one is a bank, one is a gold stock, one is this, one is that. You always go tech, biotech no matter what, especially if you don't really know like how to look into the news or the companies or have an understanding of ATRs, floats, spreads, all that kind of thing. Then you just close your eyes and you always go tech, biotech, tech, biotech. ¿Comprendes? Good, 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 good. Add it. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. Tesla. Hey, look, so this is the Tesla 3X ETF. To me, Tesla does look like a short still. I was hoping for a gap up on it. Frankly, we could have just taken it in the pre-market. I've been a little bit lazy, trying not to trade pre-market because it gets me in this weird kind of funk. But that is something. I think this is probably also like on the short list. If the market gets a little bit fugazi, right? And we're starting to see, right, a little bit of a push down into the bottom of the range. If we see that, then, we want to take down probably this Tesla too. We want to just keep shorting this pig just because it's a pig. And a lot of times you may be thinking like, okay, like you see something like a Tesla and you're like, okay, but it's down so much, so on and so forth. What you have to remember about Tesla is that if you did, if you took out all the splits on it, it'd still be like $1,500. So you still have like, you still got quite a bit of, downside on something like this. Coo. If I could turn back time. I think Tesla is probably 6 windows worthy, of course. NVIDIA is always. And then we have a whole host of these PR names, right? So we want to start watching these bad boys. I agree. I think CVNA, Redfin, SoFi, those are, there's a whole host of these that we can do. All right, so let's kind of clean this up here. All right, this NVCR is a fader. SI is going to be a fader, but only on pops. We got Z-Lab. This KC was from yesterday. You could take that out. I think that's a longer term play. We want to play coin. I think crowd is hot for 6 windows. And then we still want to keep all watch on China's for quite some time. Coin. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think if the market gets a bid, then we want to try a couple of these like little guys like CVNA, only if the market catches a bid. CVNA, Redfin, SoFi. I think those are the ones. Yeah, and let's add crowd too. I didn't see what the news was on crowd. I've been lazy. Did anybody check? Hey, by the way, right, on the second 6 windows, listen, we love PG, but we don't take our reading advice from him. He can't read. I'm just teasing. Yeah, we can let's add net some of these for shorts on the second 6 windows. Cool. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. It does, Jason. Good luck, everybody. Let's go have some fun today. See what's going on the others.